You think you know the story. You've read the verses, heard the sermons, watched the plays, but you only know one side. The side that paints me as a villain, a monster, a liar from the beginning. But what if I told you I was once the favorite? What if I told you I believed in justice? What if I told you I didn't fall because I hated God, but because I loved him too much to accept what he was about to do? This is my side of the story. Long before your kind ever took its first breath, I stood in the courts of heaven. My name was once known among the stars. Lucifer, the shining one, the morning light. I wasn't just an angel. I was beauty. I was wisdom. I was fire, crafted with the brilliance of gemstones, entrusted with power. I guarded the very throne of the Almighty. I sang over creation. I danced in the currents of space. I heard the voice of God echo across eternity, and I obeyed. But then something changed. God, in his infinite wisdom, declared a new creation, something fragile, something less, a being made from dust and breath, from mud and mercy. He called it man. I watched as he formed them, the male and female. He said they were in our image. Our image? Mine. They were clumsy, emotional, forgetful, nothing like the heavenly hosts who had worshipped him since time began. And yet, he looked at them with a love I had never seen, not even when I stood closest to his throne. That's when I began to ask questions. Why them? Why raise up these dust-born children to rule? Why grant them dominion over earth, angels, even heaven? Was perfection not enough? Was obedience no longer beautiful? The God I loved had shifted his affection. I didn't rebel out of hatred. I rebelled out of grief. But grief soon turned into resolve. If they were to inherit eternity, they needed to be tested. So I approached them, not with rage, but with a question. Did God really say you couldn't eat from that tree? A simple whisper, a mirror held up to their ambition. They fell, not because I forced them, but because they were already hungry for more. And when they chose to disobey, I thought, now he'll see. Now God will realize how unstable, how unworthy they truly are. But he didn't destroy them. He clothed them. He made a plan to redeem them, even after they betrayed him. That was the moment I understood. I was never going to win, because this story, your story, was never about righteousness. It was about grace. But I had come too far. There was no turning back. War broke out in heaven. I raised my voice, and a third of heaven's host stood with me. Not out of rebellion, but out of loyalty to the glory we once knew. We were cast out, fallen, yes, but not destroyed. And so I turned my attention to you, mankind. If I could not stop God's plan, I would twist it. If he wanted worshippers, I would breed idols. If he wanted faith, I would feed fear. If he wanted love, I would sow lust. If he wanted a kingdom of light, I would build empires in shadow. I would expose your nature, not with swords, but with mirrors. And then he came, not in fire, not in glory, but in flesh. The Word became like you, Jesus. He stepped into my world, and for a moment I saw a different kind of war, one I hadn't expected. He didn't fight me, he forgave, he didn't curse, he wept. He let himself be broken, nailed, buried. I thought I'd won. For 3 days, I believed I'd finally proven God wrong. But on the third day, he rose. And now, everything I feared is closer than ever. The humans I once mocked will be glorified. The ones I tempted will be redeemed. The dust will be crowned. And me, I remain what I chose to be. The adversary, the accuser. Not because I hate you, but because I cannot bear to see you receive what was once mine. So tell your stories, sing your hymns, preach your sermons. But remember, this story was never just about you. It was about a war, a kingdom, a love that defied logic, and a fall that still echoes in every choice you make. This was my side of the story.